And recording in progress. Thanks for your work, Ellis and Ruyoko and Tintin and Tron. Good to see all of you. Thanks for your work on the literature review. I'm glad you guys could understand, we just needed a little bit of notation on literature reviews. And Ellis, you did a really good job. So we'll show the class what you worked on. It was good. Oh, it's Elvin. Okay, Elvin was using his family's company name. Hey, Elvin, how are you?
Um,
Yeah, did you have a good Sunday?
Not really.
Not really. Did you have to study, stay inside?
I have a lesson choice, and
You have,
I don't
what was it?
necessarily to relax.
Oh, okay, that's good to relax. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't go out until about 3 o'clock. I went to the store to get a clipboard. Do you guys know what a clipboard is? A clipboard, it's like a board you put your notes on and it clips on it. I needed a new one. So it was kind of boring, Elvin, but I enjoyed my walk to the store. It was a really cool day. But I think I'm getting a cold, you guys, because the weather got too cold too quickly. All right, we have Ellis and Elvin, Ryoko and Tintin. So sorry about last week. Was a really long lesson about the literary review. My recommendation or advice to you guys is just save that lesson in the PDF or the Word, and you can pull it out like in secondary school when you're 15 or 16 years old, or even take it out in college, and it will give you a step-by-step thing to look out for in a good literary review. In studying it now, you probably have an advantage over other students who might not know how to do that. So, in secondary school or college, university, if you have a friend, a good friend, and they say, I don't understand how to do this literary review, then you can take out your notes and help them. You can say, let's do it together, see if we can figure out how to do this. And those notes are pretty good. It's just that a really long literary review is like 5 to 10 pages, and it's not easy. Sometimes it's not even that interesting. Um, but another thing about the literary review is it can be used, a review of literature in general, is that you could use that in a graduate school paper. To you Some of these papers are like 32 pages long, and so you have to spend about 3 pages reviewing what other researchers have said on a topic, and that's another kind of literature review. So there are two kinds. It sounds like the same. I'll put it in chat so you can understand what I'm saying here. There is literature review for literature, but the same term is used in writing a thesis on the university level. Um, where you take about 2 to 3 pages to review what other researchers Okay, there it is, you guys. That should help you a little bit. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at Ellis, what you wrote here. This is pretty cool. I like it, Ellis. Let me get this ready here. And this is Ellis. And we corrected it. Ellis, really nice. It's a review of the Wimpy Kids. The students in academic level 2 are doing this too now. They're catching up with you guys. But yours was a little bit more challenging than the stuff they worked on. Yours is more formal, Ellis. It looks more serious. So, all right, Ellis, would you like to read the historical and context of a diary of a wimpy kid?
Okay. One, historical and cultural context. contemporary reception.
Mm.
The myth of a wimpy kid is widely sold all over the world as an entertaining, thrilling diary about a secondary boy with his daily life. Author background. Jeff Patrick Kinney, born in February 19, 1981,
Mm.
he grew up in Fort Washington, Maryland, United States. This will also explain why the main character lives in Maryland, United States. Also, Greg lived with his family, his mom, his dad, his older brother Roderick, and his little brother Manny, and go to school with his friends. His best friend Rolly, his friends uh,
And major themes and interpretations.
dominant themes. The book is written as a self-diary about Greg and his crazy life. Every day he comes up with crazy ideas and thoughts that he explains as his right to do. His mother used to be a teacher, and Greg doesn't like her personality because he speaks critically of his ideas and doesn't agree with most of them. He doesn't like his older brother because Roderick always tells stupid things and unbelievably great thoughts.
Yeah, very nice, Ellis. Yeah, so Ellis, just two of these is good enough. The historical, cultural context and the major themes and interpretations. That's a really big part of a literature review. It's excellent because let's say your teacher said, could you give us three examples of books that are popular with children? And so you wanted to choose not Harry Potter. You wanted to try something different. So you could do Diary of a Wimpy Kid and the elevator books that Spooky Bach likes so much, you know, and then you could pick a third one. And then if you did these 2 points for each one rather quickly, that would be almost 2 to 3 pages of writing, Ellis. And then the next thing, you know, you've already written this in your own words, right? So you're all ready to go, Ellis. Nice work. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just checking to see who's coming here. We have Tron came. Hello, Tron. And we have Ryoko's here, and Pham is here, and Alvin and Ellis. We just went over Ellis's literary review. In the notes I wrote, we have a literature review for literature, but literature review is also used in the social sciences. You know, if you have an economic topic or a finance topic, an accounting or business topic, you could do a literature review on that where you discuss three sources. Hello, Trong. Nice to see you. Trong Ming, good to see you. If your microphone's not working, you can communicate with me this way if you like. Uyen and Trong, that's perfectly fine. Because you are older students, you use the chat box very responsibly. In some of the classes, the younger students go crazy and start spamming mean messages back and forth to each other. But this is like an adults class, so nobody does that. So by all means, if you feel more comfortable sending me chat messages, that's fine. We went through the reviews. I found another review here that I really liked. It was Tintin. Tintin, you stayed with the social sciences, and that's perfectly fine with me because remember, this literary review can be used for both an actual piece of literature or it can be used, like I said, in the social sciences, right? So Tintin chose this really interesting topic. Tintin, are you there? Let's see if Tintin is here. We can get him to read his thing. Tintin, looking for Mr. Tintin.
Yes,
Hey, Tintin, how are you?
I'm fine.
Tintin, is it snowing in Germany?
Yeah, almost the whole time.
Wow, yeah, I heard that in England it got really cold, and in my hometown Chicago it's cold. So there's actually snow on the ground. Luckily, Hiroshima is still about 15 degrees in the daytime, so it's good to put a jacket on, but no snow, probably until January if we're lucky. Do you like snow, Tintin?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Do you have like cousins in Vietnam that you try to describe what snow is to them, like how it feels and all of that?
I think all my cousins live in Vietnam.
Okay, so they can experience snow in the highlands, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so they can, have some contact with snow. All right, you guys, Tintin, let's read this one. Here we go.
The only book that I have read lately is called Clear Thinking by Shane Parrish. I just randomly stumbled upon this book while I was shopping alone. The book is all about the art and the way of making better decisions. This book is a New York Times bestseller and is praised by many famous authors. This informative book also has lots of little paragraphs explaining every single detail related to thinking. The book's in-depth guide of how to also focus on goals is something I anticipated in a book like this. The book is basically the complete package to setting goals. I enjoyed reading this book because it's easy to understand language. I also recommend this book to people who are young and cannot decide their goals.
Yeah, this is really good, Tintin. I like it a lot. You notice in my notes to you, I said you could start with an introduction that I suggested. For example, here at the bottom, everyone can see this. I wrote, there is a developing trend the last 20 years or so, whereby young people are having difficulties in clearly formulating their objectives. Researchers such as Shane Parrish, you could maybe do two more researchers, Tintin, which means you'd have to read 3 books for like a 5-page paper for secondary school. You could write research such as Shane Parrish, Susan Smith, and Joe Anderson reveal the latest findings in their areas of research. And then you would begin with the first one by Shane Parrish, maybe do 3 paragraphs on that. Go next to this name I just made up, Susan something, right? That would be 3 paragraphs by her. Finish up on your third one by this guy, Joe Anderson. Again, it's just a name I made up. And you would probably be close to a 5-page paper, Tintin. So yeah, you have an understanding on how to do this. And the entire paper would kind of be a literature review. Nice work, Tintin. Okay, let's see. We have a chat from someone. Let's see how we're doing. Hello, Mr. Brennan. Hello. The font size is too small. I can't see it clearly. Trong, is the font size in the book in the share screen, or is it in the chat where it's too small? For Mr. Tintin's paper, the font size. I wonder if you can tell us, Trong, is the font size small in the examples? Oh, in Tintin's paper. All right, let's take a look at it again. Tintin, no problem. I'll make this bigger for Trong to see. So what we do is we'll blow this up real nice. Oh, it's too crazy. Let's see. A little bit bigger. Better. How does that look, you guys? Tintin, let me read it again because it's a really good example. We have the only book that I have read lately is called Clear Thinking by Shane Parrish. I just randomly stumbled upon this book. Oh, Tintin, I just noticed a spelling mistake. We got to upon this book while I was shopping alone. The book is all about the art and way of making better decisions. This book is a New York Times bestseller, and it is praised by many famous authors. This informative book also has lots of little paragraphs explaining every single detail related to thinking. The book's in-depth guide of how to also focus on goals is something I anticipated in a book like this. The book is basically the complete package to setting goals. I enjoyed reading this book because of its easy to understand language. I also recommend this book to people who are young and cannot decide their goals. Tintin, my other advice for this kind of thing is in Shane Parrish's book, if he has footnotes from research from other people, then take those research notes and do quick online searches for them, and you can get better information to really strengthen your paper. So that's what I really like about that too. All right, let's see. Font size is small. Cannot hear anything, says Fam. Some problem with my computer. All right. So Fam, if you want, you could send messages too. No problems. We can easily fix things. All right, Tintin, how do you feel? Were you happy to write that? I think you did a nice job. All right. And remember, writing is really all about confidence, the confidence to do things, to feel good about your writing. Let's look at one more, because sometimes this writing, can feel overwhelming if you have to get it done. And if you just do a step-by-step process, you'll find that writing is not so challenging because you can use other writers' sources for your research. This is by Kwan, who goes by the name Elvin, right? Elvin, are you there? Mr.
Yes,
Elvin.
I'm here.
Elvin, This is really good. Can you read it for us?
A book title, an author, by fans I get remember. Summary and themes. White Fang tells the story of a wolf-dog hybrid in the wilderness of Yukon, Canada during the Atlantic Gold Rush. The novel traces Fang's journey from his while his harsh experience with both wolves and humans. Now these eventual demonstration key themes include the struggle for survival, the influence of environment and nature on behavior, and the conflict between nature and civilization. Human therapy elements. Character development also involves a fierce and distrustful creature to a loyal and loving companion, highlighting the transformative power of kindness and patience. Naturalisms. The novel reflects Jack London's naturalistic style, portraying life as a personal struggle influenced by environmental force and distance. Symbolism. White Fang represents the intersection of the wild and the civilized, and embodying the duality of nature and nurture.
Mm.
Clinical evolutions. Critics have admired White Fangs for its vivid description of the natural world and its exploration of survival. George Gleason's the novel's ability to contemplate the brilliancy and beauty of life, making it a profound commentary on the human condition. Some critics, however, focus on Lennon's deterministic views, suggesting that the character are overly shaped by external force, leaving little room for free will. Nonetheless, the novel's enduring appeal lies in its emotional depth and its sense of adventure with deeper philosophical question. Personal reflection. Reading White Fang was both thrilling and thought-provoking. I was fascinated by the way Jack London captured the raw power of nature and the resilience of his protagonist. White Fang's eventual bond with human me how understanding and comparison can overcome even the greatest barrier. Conclusion. White Fang is more than it's a adventure story. It is a profound exploration of survival, adaptation, and the delicate relationship between humanity and the natural world. Its timeless theme and compelling storytelling make it a classic that continues to resonate with readers.
Yeah, really nice work, Quan or Elvin. Elvin, are you in my Saturday class? Because another student mentioned White Fang. Was that you yesterday? Oh,
no.
this younger boy also loves White Fang. Is White Fang really popular in Vietnam for young readers?
Yes, it's translated to Vietnamese a lot.
A lot. Okay. Wow, wow. White Fang. Let's see. Lutron, you are here. How are you, Lutron? Good to see you. Lutron, do you know this book that young people in Vietnam read called White Fang? Have they been reading that in Vietnam for many years? The White Fang story. Let's take a look at this, Tintin, where you got this from, what the cover looks like. Let's see, how could we do that? One moment, I have an idea. Mr. Elvin, let's look here. And then let's look at what the original title was. I'll do a share screen in just a moment. White Fang book cover in Vietnamese. All right, and we'll run that check there. Let's see what it looks like, Alvin. Okay. White Fang, there's the classic cover by Jack London, and he's a wolf, he's a wild wolf. Was it translated into Vietnamese? I don't know. Do you see the Vietnamese? There would usually be Vietnamese. Elvin, do most kids read it in English or Vietnamese?
Vietnamese.
Okay. Let's do White Fang book cover Vietnamese edition and see what that looks like. Did anyone put up an image of White Fang with the Vietnamese writing is what I want to see. These are all English. I can't find one, Elvin. Strange, right? Because usually I can find the book cover in Vietnamese or Japanese or Chinese really quickly, but I can't find any of it here, Elvin. Oh, well.
I sent in the chat.
Okay, it's non Trong is better to search. Okay, we'll do non Trong for White Fang. Okay, so let's do non and a non Trong. And as soon as you guys see this, many of the adult students will say, I know that book from when we were children or teenagers. You have to read it. And it's Trong like that, non-Trong. And non-Trong. White Fang. Yeah, okay. And so non-Trong is there. That's a beautiful cover in Vietnamese too. All right. Now do people recognize that that's non-Trong? All right. And there's another one, non-Trong. All right. Thanks, Alvin. Really good. Okay. So for today, everybody. Oh, that's a beautiful cover, Alvin. Yeah, Ellis knows the book too. Okay, so for today, I wanted to do the paragraphs, how to make stronger paragraphs, but also how to make paragraphs that are strong by themselves. That's the first step. But then paragraphs that begin to connect well with other paragraphs. So today, the objective or goal is refine paragraph writing skills, improve your paragraph writing skills with emphasis on paragraph unity, coherence, and development. When they say unity, it means, of course, one paragraph, but maybe two more paragraphs that are connected to the original paragraph. Topic, ensuring paragraph unity throughout strong topic sentences, through strong topic. So each topic sentence allows you to strongly connect your paragraphs together. Now, to be honest with you, sometimes I have difficulty doing this in my writing. The last time I had a difficult time was about 5 years ago. I had a very difficult paper to write on Africa, and I just wasn't using the topic sentence. So my young professor was confused about what I was writing, and I realized I didn't put the topic sentences to connect all my crazy paragraphs. So developing paragraphs with sufficient detail and evidence, paragraph transitions and flow, all of these are important. We will discuss tonight. And then we'll do one paragraph for our homework. You could do 3 if you want. Some of you enjoy doing more. Now, why do I have this snake? Hey, Ellis, can you read my snake illustration here if you're there? If Ellis is here. Hey, Ellis, are you there? Where did Ellis go? Ellis, are you there?
A good solid paragraph can be difficult enough, but adding to the struggles of writing is trying to get paragraphs to go in a consistent thread of an argument that travels throughout your essay. Think of a line of argumentation as a snake. It winds down through your paper.
Yeah, so think, this is backwards, but the head is where your introduction is, and this is a body paragraph, another body paragraph, a third, and then there's your conclusion. It's a snake, right? All right, so how do we construct a well-written paragraph that sits comfortably with the other paragraphs of an essay? Remember these points: clear, precise language, don't use more words than you have to. demonstrate understanding of the concept's real world application. We saw this in Elvin's thing about White Fang, talking about how it's a balance between man and nature. And really good. You got the real world application, Elvin. So nice work on that. Organized, clear structure, logical flow. Those are our goals for writing paragraphs like this. So let's look first at a poorly written paragraph in the field of economics. So Lutron, you are a business economics finance person. Is Lutron there?
Yes, I'm here.
So Lutron, you are in the business field or finance or economics.
Yes,
Yeah, so I tried to get an economics example of a paragraph that wasn't written really well. Would you like to read this here? We can read all of these here.
yes.
Okay.
Supply and demand are important in economics. When there is more demand for something, price go up, and when there is less demand, price go down. This happens a lot with things like gas and stuff. People want things supply chain. If there is too much stuff, price fall. Companies sometimes make too much stuff, and that's not good because they lose money. This is why supply and demand are important, and everybody learn about it. Why it's poor. Valid language, things, and stuff. Like specific example or that. No clear structure or argument. Simplicities and repetitive idea.
Yeah, so like instead of using things and stuff, you could be specific. You could get eggs, you could go bread, rice, housing prices, right? These should be named in the paragraph. So you could write, there is more demand and prices go up. When there is less demand, prices go down. This happens with a lot of things like gas, electric, housing prices, bread and rice. People want commodities, so prices change because there's competition. If there are too many things like too much rice for 1 year, prices begin to fall. That's not good for farmers, but it's good for consumers. Companies sometimes produce too many of the same items, and that's not good because then they lose money. You could write in this paragraph, you could easily write, for example, many countries now produce flat screen television, such as Taiwan and Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia. So the price of screen TVs have become really cheap. This is why supply and demand are so important, and everyone should have an understanding about that, right? Now, the one thing about this paragraph, if you have a friend in school and they just don't understand supply and demand so well, you could use this language to talk to a friend. You could say, oh, well, let me make it simple for you. And then maybe the friend begins to understand, right? But for a formal paper, you wouldn't want to use this style of writing. It's too simple. And your professor or teacher will say, it's kind of weak, right? Lutra, would you like to read the well-written paper then? This is an improvement.
Yes, the well-written paragraph. The interplay between supply and demand serves as a cornerstone of the market economics, determining price and resource allocation. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the sudden spike in demand for essential goods such as hand sanitizer and face masks led to significant price increase due to the limited supply. Conversely, the overproduction of fruit oil using the same period result in plummeting oil price as storage capacity were exceeded. This dynamic highlights the elasticity of demand and the importance of the efficient product forecasting. Understanding supply and demand equip economists and policy makers to anticipate market fluctuation and mitigate economic disruption effectively.
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Lutron, you understand most of that economics, right? This is like review for you. Okay. Now, It's really good though. I like it for secondary students. This is a good start, you guys, to start understanding economics. That word conversely is wonderful. I'm going to show it to you here. This can be used so much in your writing that I really strongly recommend you guys learn this word conversely. It's beautiful. Here it is in English.
Conversely,
And there it is in Vietnamese.
ngược lại,
Yeah, so conversely, that's such a great word. So Alice and Tintin and Pham and all of you, remember conversely for your writing. It's such a great word. Conversely, it means on the other hand. So you could write on the other hand. If we go back to this original thing, you could write on the other hand, the overproduction of crude oil. And I know that you guys know that because I've seen that in your writing a lot. On the other hand, right? Now be careful. Some students make a mistake. They write in the other hand, right? Because you're thinking in the hand, right? But that's not, you don't say in the other hand. You want to say on the other hand. It's not a bad word, but you can quickly change on the other hand. Let's say you're using on the other hand too many times in your paper and you want to change it, then the great word is conversely. Conversely is a beautiful word. Okay, and then why is it well written? Lutron, can you finish this as why is this well written?
Yes. Why is this well written? Remember the point highlight in blue, but also the COVID example, clear and precise language. Specific example, COVID-19 hand sanitizer throughout. Demonstrate understanding of the concept real world application, organized with a clear structure and a logical flow.
Nice, nice. By the way, plummeting means falling really fast, plummeting, falling down price of crude oil because no one was buying oil. There's that famous picture of all these ships off the coast of California, and the ships can't come into the harbor at San Pedro, California, because nobody is buying the oil. The ships are just sitting there, and the oil companies were losing billions of dollars a week. All right, so that's the oil they're talking about. Now, in writing, this is really interesting. We use this word cornerstone. And let's see who else. I want to call on some people to see if their microphone is working. We have Trong and Min. Min from Da Nang, are you there? Hello, Min.
Yes, I'm here.
Good to hear you. How are you today?
I'm okay.
Okay. Min, you know this word cornerstone?
Yes, so
Yeah.
cornerstone is like a stone that is a foundation of a house.
Yeah, there it is, the cornerstone. And here's a cornerstone that shows the building was made in 1922. We use cornerstone in writing, meaning it supports all of your writing ideas, right? Think of good paragraphs as strong foundations to your ideas. And here I did the foundation of a house in Vietnamese. So you want a strong foundation like here and a cornerstone here. Make your writing strong with foundations and cornerstones. That's what the image is, all right? So let's expand to 3 paragraphs now to demonstrate weak versus strong paragraph development. We'll use contemporary or recent Vietnamese economic, environmental, social development as our subjects. So let's go back to Mr. Min. Are you there again, Min? Min, you're a good reader.
Yes,
Can you read
yes.
this for us? Okay, you have to read the 3 paragraphs. All right, there you go.
Okay, first paragraph is Vietnam's economy has grown rapidly in recent years, becoming one of the fastest growing in Southeast Asia. The country has focused heavily on manufacturing and exports, particularly textiles and electronics. This has created many jobs and improved living standards for many people. Tourism is also an important part of Vietnam's identity. Many tourists visit attractions like Halong Bay and Hoi An, which are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Vietnamese cuisine like pho and bánh mì is also popular among travelers. In addition, the education system in Vietnam has seen reforms to improve quality. More students are pursuing higher education both domestically and abroad. However, challenges remain, such as disparities in access between urban and rural areas.
Yeah, now notice this is described as weak. In the first example with 1 paragraph only, it was poor, it was really bad. this isn't bad. You could use this in a presentation if you had to for foreign guests visiting your company. This would be a fine presentation for speaking, but for writing, we want it to be a little bit better than that. I see Ruyoko is here. Ruyoko, how are you? Ruyoko from Natron, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Ruyoko, can you read why these three paragraphs together would be weak?
Okay. Why it's weak? The paragraphs touch on different topics: economy, tourism, education, but lack predictions or transitions.
Hmm.
There is no overarching theme or thread-linking theme.
Hmm.
Each paragraph feels isolated without a cohesive argument or narrative.
Yeah. So, the other word for cohesive is cohesion. It's like Velcro, the things stick together. Cohesive and cohesion. Let me do that cohesion because that's, it's a big word, cohesion. Yeah, and you guys could research that, but I can quickly show you what it is here. Cohesion or cohesiveness is the ideas stick together, and there it is, cohesion.
Cohesion,
But in Vietnamese,
sự gắn kết.
yeah, so there's no cohesion amongst these three paragraphs, right? We want to have cohesion in our writing. That's our main goal, cohesion. Okay, cohesive with transitions. Let's check amongst our students tonight. Let's see if it would let me. Here we go. Zoom does some strange things, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop that share. Okay, we have V. V, are you here? Hello, V.
Yes, I'm here.
How are you today, V?
Yeah, so great.
Good, good. I hear your son sounds happy. Is that
Yeah.
your boy? All right. Hey, V, would you like to read this cohesive or better connecting strong example of the three paragraphs?
Yes.
Okay.
Paragraph 1. Vietnam's rapid economic growth over the past few decades had transformed the country into the dynamic hub of manufacturing and exports, particularly in textiles and electronics. This economic expansion has lifted millions out of poverty and significantly improved living standards. However, this growth has also brought challenges such as environmental degradation and rising income inequality, which require thoughtful policy responses. Paragraph 2. One area where Vietnam seeks to balance growth and sustainability is through tourism. While the booming tourism industry with iconic destinations like Hạ Long Bay and Hội An generates significant revenue, it also strengthens natural resources and infrastructure. The government has implemented initiatives to promote ecotourism and protect cultural heritage sites, aiming to sustain the sector's benefit without compromising future development. Paragraph 3. Addressing these economic and environmental challenges also require investment in education. As Vietnam integrates further into the global economy, it must equip its workforce with the skill needed for high-tech and service-oriented industries. Recent educational reforms, including greater access to higher education and vocational trainings, reflect a commitment to closing the gap between urban and rural areas. These efforts are crucial for ensuring that all citizens can participate in and benefit from the country's ongoing development.
Nice, nice. And I'm sure you know some of these topics, right, V, from your finance, right? Things like closing the gap between urban and rural areas. So there's not so much disparity or difference between the people in the farming and the cities, right? All right. So why is this strong? Clear transitions between the paragraphs create a logical progression of ideas. Each paragraph builds on the previous one, forming a cohesive argument about Vietnam's growth and its associated challenges. Now, to build the paragraphs, it's okay to repeat things, right? So I put these in blue to show you how that would look. So here at the end of this paragraph, they're concluding it by talking about growth. They're saying growth here. And then if you look in the very first sentence of paragraph 2, balanced growth, there it is again. So growth and growth, it's okay to repeat stuff in the last sentence and the first sentence. Nothing wrong with repeating information so the reader really stays with you. Then it goes to here, aiming to sustain the sector's benefits without compromising future development. And then future development, we go into environmental challenges, because if you're developing an area like eco or ecotourism, you have to think about economic environmental challenges. So these two connect really nicely here. And then that's cohesive, meaning stuck together. All the paragraphs are stuck together. So last one, themes of sustainability and equity tie the topics together. So the theme is sustainability and equity. Equity means equal share of the amount of development the country is enjoying. And that's economy, tourism, education are all tied into this idea of sustainability and equity, which is the main theme in all these. Notice this doesn't have a introductory paragraph. If we were to write an introductory paragraph, it would just very simply, you could write this paper aims to explore Vietnam's current economic boom through the lens of sustainability and equity in government and business planning. Okay, that would just be a one sentence, introduction, but that would be your introduction. And then you could do the 3 paragraphs. Then all you need is a good conclusion at the end of it. Looks kind of easy though, doesn't it? So let me ask you that question. Do you think providing cohesiveness is difficult or easy? Min in Da Nang, what do you think? Is it easy to have your 3 paragraphs get to a point of, cohesion? They fit together really well?
I think if you try enough, it will become easy because you need the paragraphs to be connected together and have a consistent flow.
Nice, a consistent flow. You know what? I'm going to go back to the share screen and write what you just said. Consistent flow is a term we didn't find. And so I wasn't going to use that word, but you brought it up. So thank you, Min. Consistent flow. That is like a river analogy. I use the snake, but the consistent flow of the river is your essay flows nicely like a river. Nice work on that one, Min. Let's see. Min Trong, is your microphone working okay?
Yeah,
Elvin?
okay, yes, it's okay now.
Oh, okay, very good. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you, Mr. Brandon.
So what do you think of this, the 3 paragraphs in a paper that's about 2 to 3 pages long? Do you think it's a difficult goal to get these to all work together? Like cohesiveness is our big word for today.
Right. The cohesion is very difficult for students to follow. If you are good at cohesion, you will make the paragraph go smoothly.
My advice, do you think, to tell students, just keep proofreading your paper and ask yourself, does it make sense to you, if you're reading this? You teach students to edit the paper themselves, self-edit, and say, look, as a teacher, you could say, I don't see the connection here, right? And then you tell the student, you have to work on this more. These three aren't connecting well enough, right? So a good teacher should look at the work the students are doing before they hand it in, I think. That's why some teachers have counseling sessions with their students, but this is very difficult to do in a secondary school with like 40 members in a class. Min Trong, you are a teacher, right?
Yes, I'm a teacher of Vietnamese.
Yeah, so do you think, some of the class sizes, the students tell me they have 35, 45 students in their class. Do you think it would be really challenging for a teacher to find the time to help students, look for weaknesses in their paper during a counseling session or something? Because college teachers are a little bit luckier. They only have like 15 students. So they tell the students, I want to have 15 minutes talk with each of you. And the teacher sets aside about 750 minutes, which is still a long time. 15 minutes each for 15 students, you need at least 750 minutes, which translates to, what is that in hours? It's about a 12-hour commitment spread over 1 week. And you go to the teacher's office and he shows you the weaknesses in your paper where maybe the paragraphs aren't going together. But with 45 students, that would be a really big challenge, I think. Now there's another one here. I want us to look at this paper. If it's okay, Ruyoko, you're a fine young writer. And so Ruyoko, I want to look at your review because I think you have a natural ability to do this in your work. I see it time and again. So Ruyoko, if we may use yours, I'll ask your permission nicely to use your work. And let me go to Zalo to find it. And one moment, please. And what we'll look for in Ruyoko's work is how Ruyoko is able to put these ideas together. All right, and I'm going to go to share screen on this. Ruyoko, would you like to read this for us? But you need a microphone. Sometimes Ruyoko has a microphone problem. Are you okay, Ruyoko?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Ruyoko, this is nice because you have some real transitions going on here and your paragraphs connect very nicely. Would you like to read it for us?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was in elementary school, I read a lot of books telling about fantastical stories and fairy tales. However, one of the stories that I read that I remembered the most is All Tomorrows. Now, at first, as a child, I enjoyed reading this book because it is a work of fiction, despite not understand, despite not uh, my understanding of the concept fully.
Yes.
Now, when I revisit the book, I wondered how I did not experience a 1 week long nightmare while reading it.
Funny, yeah.
All Tomorrows is a fictional book written by C.M. Coleman,
Mm,
depicting humanity's future over the course of millions of years after an interstellar conflict with a species called the the Q. In the story, after the humans have colonized the stars, they were attacked by the Q and were genetically re-engineered horribly into various bizarre and specialized forms. These include beings adapted to extreme environments and gross, gross, I don't know how to read the word.
Oh, extreme environments and grotesque life forms.
Thank you, teacher. Grotesque life forms designed for the Q's whim. After a few more years, the Q mysteriously vanish and leave the post-human species to evolve and adapt to the environment of the planet they were living in. Some managed to regain the intelligence and build a society, while others either fall into obscurity or extinction. Later, they discovered ruins and Earth and Earth, humanity's home. They rise, they rise to prominence as humanity's ultimate heirs.
Heirs, yeah, heirs.
For my critical evaluation, All Tomorrows is a deeply imaginative and ambitious work that challenges traditional storytelling by focusing on humanity's potential future across an incomprehensible timescale. Its greatest strength lies in its ability to inspire awe and curiosity about evolution, identity, and survival. However, its lack of the traditional narrative elements, such as character arcs and detailed emotional stakes, may limit its appeal outside a niche audience.
Hmm.
For fans of speculative biology, cosmic history, or existential reflection, All Tomorrows is a profound and unforgettable journey. For others, it might serve better as a thought experiment than a conventional narrative. Side note, this book's concept, writing, and story is terrifying to read. Yet, me in my elementary years still finds it fascinating and didn't get nightmares.
It's okay. What I like about your writing and Nakin and Ellis's and Spooky from our basic writing classes, you guys have a unique way of expression. It makes me laugh sometimes, like you don't get a 1 week long nightmare after reading it. Suggests this is a really frightening book. So yeah, nice work, Ryoko, really good. And what I like here is you have your transition now at first for my critical evaluation, for fans of speculative, side note. These are all great transition words. What I like here is that you didn't use a transitional word because your writing is really strong, Ryoko. In this example, you didn't really need a transition word, right? You had already done two really good build-up paragraphs, and then you got to this. So you didn't have to use transition words, and that takes a lot of skill. So nice work, Ryoko. Really good. I'm happy with that. Okay, let me just check if there are any notes there. All right, everybody. So we have about 10 minutes left. And what I would like you to think about, start doing for your homework is, could you just, if you have the time, if you could do 3 paragraphs on any topic that you like. I chose ecotourism and economics as our examples because we have so many business students. I want to make that interesting for them, for V and Kevin and others. But could you do a paragraph that shows clear transitions? Each paragraph builds on the previous one, and you can write about anything you want, and it has a consistent flow. That was very nice. That was Min or Ryoko who said that. Min, I think, said a consistent flow. Very nice. So any homework is any topic that you find interesting for school, work, or general enjoyment. Write 3 paragraphs if you can. Try to use transitional So this part here, transitional sentences that are found in the topic sentences and the conclusions of each paragraph. This might be a little bit difficult to understand this, transitional sentences in the topic sentence. So let's just quickly go back to this. We have this as a transition. This is transitioning. It's into paragraph 2, where this will then be talked about. And then it will go into paragraph 3, where this will be talked about. Let me just see in paragraph 2, is there a pretty good, the government has implemented initiatives to promote ecotourism and protect cultural heritage sites aiming to sustain the sector's benefits without compromising future development, addressing these economic invent. There really isn't a strong transition here. I would say this is okay, but I would want to make this stronger. So quickly, let me show you how I would make that stronger. The government has implemented initiatives to promote ecotourism and protect cultural heritage sites, aiming to sustain the sector's benefits without compromising future development. However, these safeguards do not okay, that's what I would add right there. However, these safeguards do not come easy in terms of cost and application, right? And so this is how we go right into this. Addressing these economic environmental challenges also requires investment. See, because they just threw investment and education in here, that's why I did cost and application to connect those better, right? Now I can confidently put that as a blue, pretty good transition. Now remember, I'm only using blue in my teaching here today. Don't switch to blue for your color for formal writing. This is just a highlight, right? Sometimes my students say, teacher, I did these in blue like you said. I say, oh, no, I'm terribly sorry. These are just to show you an example, you guys, right? Okay, so let me see, Lutron, what are you interested in recently? If you give me a topic, I'll try to write a paragraph.
Yeah, I think that I will write the economies in Vietnam. And
Okay.
I will try to finish homework this week because
Okay.
yeah, because some weeks ago I quite busy for the
Yeah.
new project. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I finish homework week.
that's fine. Hey, Lutron, you can have access to the videos for each class, right? All the students can do that.
Sorry.
Um, Dr. Duke records all the lessons, and so you can go to YouTube and watch these lessons again, I think. Like you can
Yeah.
review the lessons. Yeah. So, you know, if you were busy and you were stressed, you could always go back and watch a lesson, right? And then you really, you know, can memorize all the points in that particular lesson. So don't worry about it if you couldn't do the homework, you know.
Yeah.
If you just review, that's, you know, good enough.
Yeah.
So what part of the economy is interesting to you right now, Lutron?
I think that's I will write the general develop in
Is that in Asia? It's the Chinese Belt and Road.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a Belt and Road Initiative in English. Let's see, China is what do we say, promoting. Okay, interesting, Lutron. Yeah. Hey, Lutron, is the Belt, here's a question, is the Belt and Road Initiative is it slowing down the Belt and Road? You can answer that, yeah, because it requires huge funding. Yeah, those are good topics. Lutron, is Vietnam part of the Belt and Road Initiative? Because it's, you know, it just seems that China is so close to Vietnam that most of the southern roads into the northern part of Vietnam and the bridges and the tunnels, that's already developed, right? It's been developed for a few decades now. But are there any new initiatives on the border between China and Vietnam, like a rapid train service? That one. Let's see. For our research, you guys, I'm going to check this because this is actually a really interesting topic, Lutron. Thank you for introducing this topic because it helps the other students think of an idea. So I'm going to do a new chat and I'm going to go to Chat GPT, right? And I'm going to go here and I'm going to ask this question and I will write, are there projects between Vietnam and China that are part of the Belt and Road, I think is what it's Road and Belt and Road initiatives. Okay, I think, or is it Road and Belt? No, it is Belt and Road, BRI. It says, yes, Vietnam and China have several projects under the Belt and Road Initiative, the BRI. Although Vietnam approaches the BRI with caution, ensuring that such collaboration align with its national interests. I really like this one, right? And I think this is a really good statement, right? You want to go cautiously on this kind of stuff. Caution, caution. Some of these projects include infrastructure, cross-border economic cooperation, energy projects. Here are examples. Infrastructure projects is a urban railway. I thought so. Yeah, I thought there would be an urban railway because the students tell me that during holidays they want to go from Ho Chi Minh City to maybe Hue City, and the highways are too crowded with cars. So I was wondering if Vietnam is going to work on its urban railway system more. Okay. Metro line in Hanoi, financed by the Chinese loans, the metro line in Hanoi. Road and bridges, yeah, definitely road and bridges. I can see that. Economic zones, energy projects, thermal power plants, maritime connectivity. Now, this is interesting. Port development, yeah. Bridge and road, everyone thinks that it's like roads through, countries with mountains, but actually port development for ships are really important. And then these are the 3 strong points. Projects do not compromise its sovereignty, debt sustainability. Oh, this one's really important. Do you know, Lutron, that one's important because Sri Lanka had an airport that was built with Chinese financing, and the Chinese were really strict about getting their money back from the airport. And the Sri Lankan people started saying, we don't have the money. And so they had to start a payment plan that was really challenging for the Sri Lankan government. So I'm really glad to see that Vietnam does debt sustainability is an excellent point. Really good. You know what? I'm going to copy all of this. Lutron, I'll put this in the teacher's notes for today. So if you need this to write a paragraph paper, it's available to you. If anyone else is interested in this, you can also check the teaching notes for today, because this is an excellent one. You could write 3 paragraphs. You could write 5 paragraphs if you wanted to. And remember, anything you write in my class, you can use in your secondary school, right? Or your primary school. You can use these topics because you already worked on them. All right, nice, really good. Okay, and so I will say thank you for another great class. I really enjoyed it today. I think we covered a lot. And it's actually a really important lesson for today because the cohesion, sticking the paragraphs together is really important. So that's nice work. Any questions from anybody? We covered a lot, but let's say Elvin, thank you, and Lutron, thanks. Mintron, thank you. Ruyoko.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Tintin. Thanks. Uyen, good to see you. And V, good to see you. And Lutron and Min. Some people had to leave, but that's fine. You have busy Sunday nights. I have to teach another class in 25 minutes, and the boys are kind of crazy in this class. And I think Ellis remembers those crazy boys, and Elvin does too. And Ruyoko and Tintin also. So thank you very much, everyone. I really enjoyed tonight's
Teacher,
class.
bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone. See you guys. Bye-bye,
Bye,
Lutron.
teacher.
Bye-bye, teacher. Bye-bye, Ryoko.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Introng. Thanks, V. Thanks, Uyen. Thanks, Min.